Hey, this is Austin.
And I'm Zach.
Before we kick off season three, Zach and I felt like we needed to acknowledge something, the loss of our dear grandmother, Ruth Zweifler.
Yes, he passed away on January 12th at the age of 95. Yeah, very sad loss for the family. But, she's had some great moments on Film with Family, and we thought it might be a good idea to kind of compile some grandma highlights for you from Film with Family. Along with some clips, we have a full interview that me and Austin did with Grandma Ruth from 2018, and we wanted to present some clips from that as well.
So, this episode is just a celebration of our grandmother, the wise words that she said, and we're going to miss hearing her voice.
Yes, absolutely.
One of my favorite moments with Grandma on this podcast was her shared disdain for the film Oppenheimer. So let's hear her thoughts on Oppenheimer. Zach took you to Oppenheimer. You didn't like that one though, right?
No, no. That's what I did. I mean, not only is that not a favorite person or whatever, but I thought the movie was dull.
A dud.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I thought it was pretty boring towards the end,
It was
especially.
boring. It didn't. It had no moral message, and that, I mean, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
It had no. It had no position. The thing is amoral. There's a really important moral dilemma there, and they don't present it. The point of the movie at all. I mean, why did they do it even? Really?
Yes, and we also uncovered the controversy of the Barbie doll Christmas on our Barbie episode. So let's listen to that.
Call out.
You're gonna call right now?
Yeah. Let's
All right,
let's see if
let's see
she
what numbers.
answers.
Or she'll answer.
It's the call out.
Oh,
Grandma,
yes,
it's Austin.
grandson.
How are you?
I'm here. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, me and Rian and Mom just saw the Barbie movie,
Yeah.
and Mom told this story about you not getting her a Barbie
Yeah.
for Christmas. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
What's your recollection of that Christmas
My
movie?
recollection is that it was horrible. She was, she was so sweet with every, oh, I love this, I love that. And then it was all over and she just was shocked. Got her eyes got huge and said, where's my other package?
Oh.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful. It was the trauma of the family. It was awful.
So she seems to remember it like you were boycotting Mattel, or did you just not agree with
I
Barbie?
I thought they were, very commercial and very, yeah, I didn't approve.
Okay, so
And
you weren't boy.
I learned a terrible lesson at her expense.
Which is get your kids what they want.
Sometimes it's important that you can do it. Yeah, sure, it's corroborated. It was terrible. It was the worst mother thing I ever did.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! I'm
Wow.
sorry to bring it up then.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
He's Austin opening the wound.
Survived because she's a strong and lovely woman.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about Barbies right now?
Well, I think they're commercial and stupid, and I don't like them. But whatever.
Okay, well, that's pretty much it, Grandma. We just wanted to get to the bottom of that story.
All right, honey. Love you.
All right, love you, Grandma. Thank you for your thoughts.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, so I was right that it was really
Yeah.
more just, philosophically, she didn't agree.
In our most recent episode on The Wizard of Oz, we had Grandma on, which or some of my last moments with her were sitting down and watching Wizard of Oz, actually, now that I think about it. I think both of us had that experience in the last month or so. And I gotta say, she was the MVP of Osmus.
Yeah, I feel very grateful that we got her involved with Osmus.
She was the first one in the Zoom room and the last one out.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how how cogent and thoughtful she was, and I don't know, so close to her passing. It's kind of crazy, but
But she had one of the funniest moments, I think, in film with family history.
yeah. So let's listen to that from our most recent episode, the Osmus special.
Mommy, do we have something for Mom? Mommy needs a little sipping whiskey or something.
We could get that for you.
No. Mom has done that. Thank Mom is way
Grandma's
ahead.
had enough.
You don't understand. Mom is, as always, ahead of you.
This is true.
5 o'clock
Can't keep
somewhere.
up with her. Can't keep up with her. So, Mommy, I'm curious about your first experience with Wizard of Oz. Do you remember the first time you saw it? No. But you probably saw it in the movies.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been on TV.
No, no.
No, I'm sure I saw it.
There's not, you don't have a significant,
I don't.
no.
You're Elizabeth, is that right?
That would be my daughter, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Mom, but
It's coming back to me.
Mommy, do you have any movies that you like that stood out to you as a child, as a young woman?
Heidi.
Oh, Shirley Temple movies I like.
Did you go to the movies to see those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. Did we have a TV? I don't
No.
think I was allowed to watch it.
I don't think you had it. I don't
Yeah.
think.
No, I don't think TV was.
I
When
don't
did?
think it was invented.
Yeah.
My mommy. Are you
What?
still with us? Do you remember when you used to make Divinity?
Make what? Yeah.
I love Divinity the best. Does anybody
What's
else remember
Divinity?
Divinity?
Oh,
Yes.
I
Okay.
do. My grandmother used to make it. Yeah.
What is it?
Well, if you'll come home,
Sugar.
I'll do it again.
It's a white candy with nuts in it. You put nuts in it, right?
Like meringue, like really hard meringue.
The candied fruit too.
Yes.
No. That's fruitcake. But no, it was just the white. I don't know what it was. It was chewy, kind of like a marshmallow, but not. And then it had the nuts in it, like Lizzie said. And Mom would put it on the wax paper. I loved that and nut horns.
Horns.
Not horns.
Gingerbread with frosting. Can't beat it. Stick to the classic.
Oh, there you go. Okay, see, Jim, you got us all on a new reminiscing track.
Very sorry.
You're always so nosy. You want to know what everybody's doing. What are you doing?
100%.
What are you eating?
It's a new side podcast, Baking with Family.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a great idea. Yeah, Mom teaches us how to make divinity.
Baking show.
Yeah.
Nope, I'll make spaghetti.
Oh,
Okay.
Right on.
What do you think of where does the wizard fit in? He's kind of a
Yeah.
flam man, and he does some bad things, but some good things.
Yeah, he's more of a gray area, the wizard.
He's a
Yeah,
humbug.
Yeah.
He calls himself a humbug, bringing it back to Christmas.
Yeah, what are the all-time humbugs of cinema? You got the Wizard of Oz, you got Scrooge,
Got Trump.
Trump. Yeah, Trump. He was just in that movie The Apprentice this year, so that's a topical one.
Caleb, you mentioned like the hero's journey. I mean, it really is just, you have a person who wants to leave home. They're confronted with some chaos. They do leave home, but then they realize that they need to get back. And the way that they get back is by learning lessons from the people that they meet in this foreign land.
But notice that it is Dorothy, a woman, who does this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. In a world surrounded by men.
Yes. Yes.
But
true,
you do got the evil witch and the good witch. So yeah, there's all the full spectrum of women.
Because I think L. Frank Baum, after the success of the first book, just wrote like 20 other books. So there's all these
Oz
weird,
books.
yeah, there's all these little characters that he pulls out of the series of books.
How much longer does this go?
Grandma, you can leave if you need to go to bed. You don't have to stay.
Did you hear me?
Can I leave?
Grandma's the voice of your audience.
But it is long.
Do you have any final thoughts about Wizard of Oz if you want to go?
Well, I like the triplets. I like the guys.
Yeah.
I think
They have great dance moves, very great physicality, all three of them.
well, they have a very interesting message that they deliver in a very interesting way.
I thought you were referring to the Lollipop Guild. Those three guys are pretty good too.
I love that.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the
I'm not
Lollipop
sure I
Guild.
do love that. I think that's exploitation.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
Good
Follow
night.
Eldrick Road. Good night.
Come visit. Come soon. Stay long.
Bye-bye.
One thing that we didn't put on the table is Grandma's thoughts, which I captured right after we watched it.
I still haven't listened to this.
It's just a quick, less than a minute review. A quick whiz.
Well, let's play it.
All right, Grandma, we just watched The Wizard of Oz. What are your thoughts?
I don't have any profound thoughts. It's a lovely movie.
But you like Judy Garland?
I like Judy Garland. I don't remember her being just so sweet and
Beautiful.
well, yeah, but also sort of accessible. You know, just very genuine.
And you were saying how you like the production?
I liked the production. I think it was incredibly imaginative. They, again, the character is so lovely and yet not sappy.
Perfect.
And then, of course, we had the dedicated Grandma Ruth episode, Heidi, one of her favorite movies. So this will be a longer clip with all of her thoughts on Heidi for you to enjoy.
All right, we're going to get started.
All right, this is going to be a disappointment.
Welcome to Film with Family. I'm Austin.
And I'm Zach.
And I'm Grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
For our final grand finale of Mom Month, we have the grandest mother of all, our Grandma Ruth.
Hello.
Welcome, Ruth, the mother of mothers.
The Grandma finale. We're talking about one of Grandma's favorites, Heidi, starring Shirley Temple from 1937. Yeah. So you were born in 1929, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And Shirley Temple was born in 1928. You were about the same age.
Right.
And then
and I love those movies. All of those Shirley Temple movies were wonderful.
You remember watching them growing up?
Yeah. It was a treat.
Did you go to the movies as a kid? Do you remember? Or
Yeah. I can remember going with my mom and dad and certainly seeing, I guess, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That was a big one. That was a great movie. The Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
Was really good.
Oh, wow.
And Heidi was a good, it's a tearjerker.
I think that's really cool, though, that you have the memory still of going to the theater with your parents.
Yeah.
To see this movie. Was that in New Jersey?
What I see, which may or may not be accurate, is probably going in New York to the Radio City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Going to the Radio City Music Hall to see Heidi?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't say I've even ever been there. I didn't even realize they showed movies there.
Yeah, and then they'd have a stage show besides.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like that was about Heidi. Like the stage show would be.
No, the stage show was the Rockettes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
It's just something completely different.
yeah.
Okay.
But don't. This is not an historically accurate interview.
Yeah. Do you remember? Did your parents were they movie fans? Like, do you remember your mom or dad? Like, which one of them liked going to see the movies more? Or
Yeah, they didn't go that well. You know what? I grew up in the Depression, so recreation and frivolity was a real extravagance.
Mm-hmm.
But we certainly did go to the movies, and when we did, it was it was fun. It was a good thing to do. I mean, movies, that was where you got your entertainment, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I've been going back and watching a lot of Buster Keaton movies lately.
oh my.
Do you ever like Buster Keaton or like Charlie Chaplin, like those guys?
I think I like Charlie Chaplin, but not Buster Keaton so much.
Okay.
But I am very old and I don't really remember much of anything. But you tell me and I'll say, yep.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I would just ask in general, do you like watching movies? Like you're a movie fan in general, or I feel mostly I associate you with watching like the news.
MSNBC. Yeah.
Yeah, MSNBC is what's always on the TV, but
yeah. I liked the Judy Garland movies. I mean, I liked the musicals. They were really fun, these Technicolor musicals. And The Wizard of Oz was a great movie. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a classic. My dad mentioned that you liked a movie called Blow Up or something. Do you remember this movie?
Hey.
It was from the 60s, I think.
Yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember. Yeah.
It's like an Italian film.
I know. It was about solving a mystery by looking at films, but I don't remember. It was good. It was
it's about a photographer in London who it's covering some kind of murder mystery or something.
Right. And
I haven't seen it, but it looks pretty interesting. And yeah, I think both Lizzie and my dad were like, "Oh, I remember Grandma really liking that movie."
Yeah, well, it was a good one. But I don't remember it.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
As with so much that was really wonderful, I don't remember anymore.
Do you have any favorite scenes, Grandma, that you can remember from this movie?
Oh, I really liked it all.
You like the stuff with the crippled kid in the wheelchair too, and all that stuff.
Clara, sure.
Yeah, that's all very sweet. It's kind of bizarre that she taught her how to walk.
Yeah, you just got to believe in yourself.
Well, it probably, there probably is more reality in that than at first looks. I mean, I think that this kind of deciding how somebody should be and then kind of forcing all of the relationship into making it true makes it true. And so sometimes, again, a third party coming in and with a new look can sometimes really break up that kind of frozen way of.
Yeah, it seemed like Frau and Rottenmeier preferred her to be in a wheelchair, so she's like,
"Oh, sure,
I want her to stay this way. So even if she's capable of walking, I don't want her to."
Exactly.
So Heidi's like, "This is messed up. I know she can walk."
Yeah.
They love Heidi.
Yeah, well, she's an iconoclast in a way. I mean, she's her, I think they present her as a child whose impressions are fresh and not skewed, and that comes across.
Yeah, she's, even though everyone's saying that like her grandpa's gonna like cut her head off.
Yeah.
She's like, well, let's see.
Hi, Grandpa. Yeah.
That's what Goat Boy says.
Yeah. Peter.
Yeah, Peter. Did you ever think about getting a pet monkey, Grandma?
Oh my God. You know what? I think somebody was going to give me one once, and my mother said no.
Wow.
You wanted it, but mom.
No, I don't know that I wanted it, but
No.
it seems to me that there was a moment when that might have been a possibility. Anyway, thank goodness, no.
This is not the zoo.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about the Fablemans because they get a monkey in the Fablemans, and
No, I think dogs are very nice, and cats, pussycat.
You have a cat, Grandma.
We have a cat. I know, pussycat. We love you.
Pussycat's a nice cat.
Yeah,
we give him a hard time sometimes, but he's a good cat.
He is a good cat. He is a good.
We
cat.
call him Smudge, but you call him Pussycat, right?
Oh, he has so many names. He will answer to anything as long as you feed him.
Or Oreo, I think some people.
Oreo. Anyway, he's got a lot of names and he answers to them, and he's a good cat anyway. So I hope they're feeding him.
Yeah, because you're on a little trip right now. You're away from Ann Arbor. You're in Chicago, and you're going to be off to Colorado.
I'm feeling very, very disoriented, I'll tell you. You know, the older you get, the more difficult it is to transplant. It's, we're a lot like Flora.
Older people are like Flora.
Well, probably everybody is, but certainly transplanting is not a thing to do lightly.
Yes.
You've lived in Ann Arbor for what, 60 years?
Yeah, well, we moved there in 1960.
Wow.
So, yeah.
In the same house.
Well, no, we lived in 3 houses in 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
But
you've been in the same house.
And then, our realtor said, "What do you want anyway?" And I said, "I want a big old house in the middle of a schoolyard." And we snatched up John, and the widow had just died, and the daughter came down and said, "Oh, a child in father's chair." And we underbid the sororities, and we've been there ever since. They wanted a family, and they got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he escapes from jail.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a cool scene. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's
a little unlikely, but cool.
Yeah, somehow he like
bends the bars by bashing with the bench.
Yeah. And then there's a really cool sleigh chase scene.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting any action in this movie, but I was like, dang, this is pretty intense.
Well, yeah. Well, in a way, it isn't dated. I mean, you would think that it would have all kinds of kind of jarring episodes in it, and I didn't find any.
Yeah, there's nothing like glaringly like cringy or racist about it that I noticed. Nobody in blackface or anything.
Yeah. Well, it certainly painted Fräulein as an ogre, but everybody else was sort of nuanced, I think. It wears well, I think, in a lot of ways.
So do you like associate Shirley Temple or like this movie with your childhood?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I mean, I can remember the movie that I loved the most, I think, was Wizard of Oz.
Maybe we'll have to have you back for Wizard of Oz.
All right. But because I can remember seeing that at Radio City Music Hall. It was just that was exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, the moment in Wizard of Oz when it goes from black and white to color is just that's just like one of those classic, iconic moments in cinema history.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite scenes from Wizard of Oz, Grandma?
Oh, I think I liked all of them, but we're off to see the wizard. The 3 of them dancing down the road. The lion and the whoever and Dorothy.
The Tin Man.
Yes.
And the Scarecrow.
Oh yeah, the Scarecrow.
Yeah, I guess it was 4 of them. Whatever. Anyway, but it was just I thought it was a fun movie. But I liked the Shirley Temple piece, Little Princess.
Yeah, one of the lines I like is when she's getting taken away because she gets taken away from her aunt from the grandfather on her birthday. And she was excited to have this birthday with her grandpa.
Yes.
And she was like, there'll be sausage and butter at my birthday party, and I won't be there.
Yeah.
And the grandfather will be lonely. She calls him the grandfather, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And that maybe I'll start calling you the grandmother.
Right. Yes. The grandmother.
The
grandmother.
The titular grandmother.
Good idea. Okay, do that. I like that.
All right.
I like that.
And speaking of butter, he puts a huge slab of butter on her toast. Did you notice that? Like in the beginning?
Bleh. Yeah.
It's like
I missed
it's like an inch. It's like an inch thick.
Now eat it and shut up. Yeah. But no, it's a sweet movie. It really is. It's very psychologically accurate. You know, the grandparent relationship is one that's very important because your parents are too close. And no, seriously, I think the ability to bond with the grandparent is a special kind of relationship.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because the parent-child relationship is always so fraught. I mean, it's wonderful, but it's also fraught with all kinds of other kind of dynamics. And it's a lot easier to skip that with your grandparents.
Yeah, you could just focus on the nice stuff. You could just give them cookies and just be nice and be only a positive influence.
Exactly. You don't have to cook the spinach.
Yeah, which is what you've been and Grandpa was to all us grandkids for sure.
You know, the parent-child relationship has built-in cautions as well as lots of love. It's just the skipping that generation gives you a different kind of access to feelings and thoughts. I think you.
So you'd say you would rank being a grandma over being a mother if you had to.
I wouldn't. No. Just different.
Just different.
You know,
just
you make this
fraught.
wonderful spectacle, this wonderful mosaic of all kinds of emotions and relationships. No, I would not give up of a mother-child relationship, but ever. There wasn't much of Peter, and I don't. They didn't cut him out, but
the goat general.
Yeah, he was an important part of those stories. Maybe more in the.
He's more in the book or something.
I think so.
Goat Peter.
I think so. Yeah, because that's another sort of sad moral kind of story of, he was a bad boy and then he somehow isn't a bad boy. I don't remember. I don't remember.
You mean you talk about Fraulein Rattenmeyer?
Yeah.
So I guess what is she? Like, is she
like a live-in nanny?
She was a housekeeper, I think, or maybe the governess, or I don't know. Yeah.
But she hates Heidi. She's the only person that doesn't really like Heidi.
Well, and she doesn't. But she doesn't. She really doesn't like Clara either. I mean, she controls her. And one would think the father, if he cared, might have noticed. It's a really weird relationship.
He's kind of an absent father. He's like kind of gone for a long time. That kind of just shows up on Christmas.
They also sled down like a full mountain.
Yes, oh, that scene was awesome.
Yes.
Some early green screen.
During that scene, Grandma's like, "That's a long way back up."
Yeah, I loved that part.
It's not just a little hill; like they literally go down.
The Alp.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the scene of them hiking that mountain for 30 minutes. Wow. Yeah, do you have any final thoughts, Grandma, about Heidi?
Not really. I was trying to think about, today as opposed to when it was done. I don't know. Again, I think the biggest takeaway is that relationship between the grandchild and the grandparent is really a very not often recognized and acknowledged, but a very important one. I think they captured something in showing that.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, me and Austin were wondering why why you might love this movie so much, but I didn't make that connection. And of course, it makes sense. Yeah, your great grandmother, and
Yeah.
of course, a child and grandparent story would connect with
Yeah,
you. And
absolutely.
there's not too many movies about this kind of dynamic, so
No,
it makes sense.
Yeah. And it is an important one. It really is.
I'm just curious, Grandma, did you have a good relationship with your grandparents?
I did. I mean, they lived far enough away. I spent a fair amount of time with them, but not every day, hardly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would spend overnights with them sometime, and yeah, I did. I mean, I was the oldest grandchild, and
would they try to spoil you with candy or cookies or things like that?
No, but good food. My grandmother was a really good cook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember some of the meals that she made?
Well, I think probably they were probably mostly chicken dinners with chicken soup, and matzo balls. Matzo balls. Oh, yum. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
love a good matzah.
Yeah. But matzo balls and chicken soup. Oh my God. Nothing better. No, my grandmother was a good cook. And yeah, I spent a fair amount of time visiting them.
I'll say you're a good cook as well. You've made us some great meals.
Oh, you are too kind.
Spaghetti meals, lamb, all sorts of good stuff.
Eggs. You make a mean breakfast.
Eggs Benedict. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
That was then. Yeah, that was then.
You make great hollandaise sauce.
Yeah. That was then.
Yeah, you still do.
You were tired from cooking.
Pretty much. But not from eating. No, I remember, because my great grandfather lived, and I visited him. Not, frequently, but fairly often. He lived in New York on, I think, 79th and Riverside Drive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in a brownstone. And I don't know where the money came from. I mean, it was a whole brownstone, and they did rent some of the floors, but he owned it. And I don't know where, I have no idea where he made his money, how he made his money. He lived there with his daughter, my Aunt Celia. He's a really old man. Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if that brownstone still exists.
It's right across. It's on the corner of, I think it's 79th and Riverside Drive. And this Schwab estate, if it still exists, was the whole next block.
That's pretty special.
Yeah.
Next time I'm in New York, I'm going to go there. I mean, that would be our great grandfather.
It was my great grandfather. And his name was Frender, was his last name.
Frender.
Frender was his last name. And you know what? I can't even remember his first name. I have it in a book someplace. I have some books.
So he was on the Laplace side?
No, it's my mother's side. It's my maternal great grandfather.
So your mom's last name was Frender?
No, it was Abelman.
Abelman.
Yeah.
And then so her
Molly Frender, I guess, married Harry Abelman.
Almost a Fableman.
There you go. Why not?
Why not?
Feeling like I should say something profound, but I have nothing profound to say, except it's very nice to be with family. That's for sure.
Film with family. We're bringing the family together.
That's right.
Through the movies.
Great.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We love our family.
And we love the movies. And we love our grandma.
Yes.
Good thing. And we love you back.
Thanks for doing this podcast. It was great to have you on.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Love you. Bye, Grandma.
Bye. Love you back.
And so now, to finish this episode off, we'd like to share with you guys some clips from an interview that Zach and I conducted with Grandma around Christmas of 2018. We were originally interviewing her for the documentary that we were making about her and her involvement in the Student Advocacy Center of Michigan. But towards the end of the interview, we started asking some questions that were given to us by Mark, John, my mom Liz, Rian, and Natanya, and then also some random questions that me and Zach and my brother Drew had. So here's that portion of the interview. I asked your children to give me some questions.
So you mean, who do I like the best?
That actually was John's question.
Yes. Tell him, I'll never tell.
Do you feel optimistic or pessimistic about the future?
Oh, I think I feel pessimistic. I mean, I thought things would be better by now, and they're not. I don't know. It's sort of scary right now. Hopefully, this sort of the push and pull and the Obama to Trump, and it's crazy making. Mm-hmm. To go from sort of hope to fear or whatever, or they're just swinging back and forth, and I guess maybe that's just the way we're doomed to be. But I don't know how you assuage those feelings of anger and power, and there must be a community someplace that it does that. As I said, I always admired and admire more and more Jimmy Carter for kind of attempting to embody that sort of way of doing, and of course he's just demeaned as naive and whatever, ineffective. So I think, I don't know, we like strong men. I don't. I said the Pennsylvania Dutch, we grow too soon old and too late smart. I think we're not yet smart.
Any advice for the family?
I would hope that you would not dismiss people and somehow try to nurture their best instincts, but not to except Trump. I think children are the hope, and being careful and respectful of all children, and listening to what they're saying, not how they're saying it, I think is very important. I always thought that from each according to his ability to each according to his need is really about as noble a political philosophy as you could aspire to.
Would there be any advice that you would give your younger self?
Don't major in biology. Just in terms of education, of really encouraging kids to explore their interests and to be supportive of their interests and to help them. I mean, what I was worried about was that I wouldn't have a job when I left college, which is legitimate.
What do you like to do for fun?
Besides play solitaire.
Mm-hmm.
I like to walk, which I haven't done for a while. I need to get outside. And garden. I like to garden. I certainly don't like to clean a house, and I don't like to cook. I do like to write. I enjoy my writing group very much. I don't particularly like traveling. I certainly have found Ayana and Zave and Azaria as unexpected, wonderful surprises. It was, I really, all of the grandchildren are important.
Do you have any questions?
I guess if you have a view of like how you would describe yourself as a parent, or like how you view yourself as a mother, and
I'm a better grandmother. I think parenting is very hard because it's so close. It's hard to get a perspective. there was a time when I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. But I don't remember talking to them particularly. And I would spend time there, and I would cook with my grandmother, and they'd take me to the movies and things. I don't remember talking with them a lot.
Are there things that you wish you had addressed with your parents?
No, except that I wasn't very curious. I mean, I know my mom's history, but my dad left school, I think, in 8th grade. And what he did between 8th grade, and then I have that lovely picture of him in his sailor suit. And when he got out, somehow he was involved in the stock market, which is where he met my mother. And how did he do that from 8th grade? And I don't know what he did in the Navy. My mother always disparaged my dad and his family, and I think she was just a snob. I did not like my mother. I mean, I loved her, but I didn't really like her. I think my dad and his family were much classier. She was a very good pianist, and she took pride in it, but my dad was a cellist, and his brother was a violinist, and she just thought they were lower class. I mean, she was really weird and snobby, as was Andy's mom.
So then, did music play like a pretty big role in your childhood and your growing up?
Yeah, I didn't like piano lessons, and I'm not playing now, although I was thinking maybe I'll stop with the computer and go to the piano more.
That would be awesome.
Well, it won't be awesome, but it would be a little more useful. The idea of doing, again, I think doing something nonverbal is very restful.
What are you most proud of?
I guess my family and the Student Advocacy Center. And I guess we haven't really talked about my involvement in the Palestine-Israel Action Group from meeting.
Yeah.
I haven't talked a lot about that, but that's been very important to me too. I'm just speaking up for the Palestinians and again saying that it's not one or the other, but can't we all just get along? And to me, the idea that it shouldn't happen to us, but it's okay if it happens to them is incomprehensible and disgusting. The end. So in terms of groups, it would be Student Advocacy Center and Palestine-Israel Action Group and Quakers. But the Quaker thing is just it's not political, it's just a whole frame, I think, of my life. I mean, when I first stumbled onto them, I just thought, oh, yeah, now that makes sense. And again, they are not perfect, but they do have there's a phrase to proceed as the way opens. So you sort of know what you'd like to achieve or where to be and where to go. But you do take account as things happen. And I just think they have not always been exemplary in all they've done, but they're as close as I can figure out to a good group.
What do you make of that guy, Andrew Zweifler?
I'm used to him.
Okay.
Like you were telling that strawberries and cream.
Yeah.
Can you just say that?
It was something that was going, I think, in the 50s, and basically it was, come the revolution, we'll all have strawberries and cream. But I don't like strawberries and cream. Come the revolution, we'll all eat strawberries and cream. So it's and it really is so applicable to so much.
Can you just generally say something about the importance of peace? Just like how that kind of drives you.
Well, I think it's not bland. It's not like it. I think it's hard to achieve, obviously. But I think it's the matter of working together and And again, kind of drawing out the best in people rather than looking at the worst always. And that's a challenge, but there are certainly lots of obstacles, but again, I don't think it's a boring, bland kind of thing, but I think it's where we should be going, but we're not.
What's important to you?
Well, what's important to me is my family, is I think trying to act honorably, and I hope, to see a better world.
So, anything at all, just open it wide open. Is there anything that you would like to talk about?
No, I remember when we were coming back from a Washington demonstration during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and it was late at night, and there were about, I think, 4 of us, 4 women, and some guys walked by and said, "Hey, babe," and Dora, what do you say? And Dora said, "I say hands off Cuba." So, that's, you just have to keep on keeping on. Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about bail. I mean, I just think our whole punitive system is appalling, and our monetary system of holding people because they don't have money is, I think capitalism is awful. No, I wish, I wish we all lived closer, and I think I really am so curious to watch everybody continue to grow up, so I'm, I'd like to stay around a while.
All right, that's all the clips we have of Grandma Ruth. Yeah, very sad to lose the matriarch of the Zweifler family. It's definitely going to leave a big hole. Grandma lived a full and important life.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about Grandma, just look up Ruth Zweifler documentary.
Thanks for listening. We love you, Grandma. You'll be missed.
Love you, Grandma. And we love the movies.
There's a garden in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You might have seen it there. My grandmother has a beautiful garden made with love and care. She once asked for help from a professional who said it looked too personal. But I, for one, always love to see my grandma's garden. She says we only see with our eyes, and that ain't no way to see. She says we ought to bring back old King George, and she'll fight whoever disagrees. But I see flowers and squirrels and trees, plants and animals of all varieties. They all flock round 'cause they love to be in my grandma's garden.